What's going on? I'm back again with another video. I don't really have much time, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. I believe I left off the last time with my brother going to another state because he had a job offer, and me living with a friend from middle school and his family. And at the time, I was going through a depression state because the only person that I've been around pretty much my whole life just up and left. And I felt like I was alone. And things were okay. I was still working, but I didn't have the energy to really get up every day and go to work like that. But all that changed when I started smoking weed. Now, I've been smoking weed since my freshman year of high school, but it wasn't as heavy up until I stayed with my friend. And that is something for old-fashioned Haitian parents. That's something that they're really against, and that's something that they have no tolerance for. But what they don't understand about it is all it is a plant. Just like we Haitians have a tea, it's called Teasosi, aka Cersei tea. All it is just a plant. And it doesn't make you act crazy or do anything out of the ordinary. All it does is just relaxes you, and somewhat motivates you to wanna continue on and make it through the day. So that's what I did. I started smoking, and from then things started to be a little bit different. I started taking my job serious. I started really showing my work ethic, and to the point where my supervisor wanted to make me a line lead. But before that could happen, it was a situation that took place, and I let my anger get the best of me, and I ended up getting fired. Now, when I got fired, my brother paid 2 months of rent for me, and then I ended up staying for 2 extra months trying to find a job. And at the time, it was nothing that I could do. I didn't have a car. My first car that my brother gave me, it wasn't in no working condition. The tags were expired, so I didn't have a car, and it was hard. So, and the dad of the friend that I was staying with, he was understanding. He used to take me to places to try to see if they're hiring and all kinds of stuff. And I just kind of got tired of looking, and so I decided I would just move to Georgia with my brother. And so that's just what I did. And I told the dad that when my taxes came, I would pay him those 2 months that I missed. And when they did, that's what I did. I paid them off. And I gave my brother the rest. He ended up getting me a car. And I started working in Georgia. Now, when I was there, everything was cool. He wasn't really using me as much because, I mean, there's no casinos in the area that we were at or anything. So he was okay. He was okay. He wasn't really wasting his money like that. So I was able to save money. Now, after a few months, he decided to move my mom and my stepdad to Georgia with him. And the plan was for us to get a house together and just live together. And so that's what we did. The house was on my name and my stepdad's name. And that's just the way we did it. We ended up moving out. And I stayed with my mom and my stepdad for a while. Then they found a bigger house. And at the time, my brother had a few friends that he had migrated from Florida to Georgia to come work in the company that he was working in. It was a program that they had, and he was bringing in people from Florida to come work. The house that I originally had with my stepdad and I's name on it, we ended up subletting it to one of his friends that had moved from Florida. And I was staying in a bigger house with my stepdad and my mom. And it ended up being a few issues. And I was dating at the time. And she was a nice girl. She was a church girl. And I would be going to church with her and her family and my mom sometimes. But towards the end of the relationship, I was feeling a little unhappy. I mean, it wasn't nothing that she did, but it was just something with me. And I guess at the time I didn't know that there was a difference between loving someone and being in love with them. And so I knew that I wasn't going to string her along, and so I just ended that. Moving forward, the issues that was going on in the house was getting worse, and I ended up moving out and went back to the original house that I had already had on my name. And at the time, it was me and a friend of mine that I had moved to Georgia with me, and we were working, and we were splitting the bills half and half. Now, while I was in that house, my brother had ended up moving again. He had another job offer, and so he went first, his girl and his girl's daughter ended up going to stay with my mom and my stepdad until my brother was ready to come get her. And at the time, she was pregnant with their second child. My mom and his girl, they don't really see eye to eye, so there was an argument between them, and she had ended up coming to my house to spend the rest of her times until my brother was ready. And when she did come, I ended up leaving my room and my bed to sleep on the couch so that her daughter and her could have somewhere to lay their head. And that's how it went down until my brother came and got her. Now, after 2 months of me living off on my own, my friend had ended up going back to his home state. And I don't hold any grudges. Because his family was missing him, and I could understand that. He was missing his family and he was feeling homesick. And so he went back. Now, I ended up moving out and going back to my mom's, which is something I didn't want to do, but sometimes in life, you just gotta hit a reset button. And so that's what I did. And I think I'm gonna stop right there. There's way more to come to this story, so be a little patient with me and stay tuned. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe.